So I had been off social media a while. Um, I've gone back and forth on um, how we present what we're doing here, who we're trying to attract, how much I want to be on social media. And, for a time we were posting things as Sacred Valley Foundation. Our intention was to lead community first with the impact projects and have that be kind of some kind of mission we could all get behind. Um, but in the process of speaking with the community, you learn what the community really needs and what the community is really looking for. And I think one of the things that came up is there's a lot of skepticism in the community about foundations um, and about impact initiatives. There's been a lot of people here that've shared ideas, talked about what could be done, what should be done, started things that haven't kept with it, been here for a short time, but not for a long time. And many people eager to take a photo saying they did something, but not really like actually listening to and supporting the community's needs long term. So there's kind of this attitude within the community that it's like, all right, these gringos love to come and say they're doing things for us, but they're not actually here for us. It's us here for ourselves. And these are some of the things that came out in more of the deeper conversations after our first meeting. There's not a lot of transparency about how these foundations are funded, about where the money's coming from. We led with this initiative with an idea of how we could fund projects and with the intention to seek additional funding from projects, but it's been completely volunteer-based. It's been completely our efforts and people gathering together and spending money out of their pocket to make things happen. And so it's actually quite disheartening when you start with these intentions and you hear that, wow, there's a lack of trust and they're not sure whether you're pocketing a bunch of money off of the image of helping people, which was some of the accusations of some of these initiatives in the past. So there's a lot of healing that needs to be done and a lot of trust that needs to be earned in the community. And I think since my career is so heavily on the regenerative development and the building, that would need to really be disconnected from and delinked from all the impact initiatives that we do, so that can be pure, and so that doesn't mix with Austin's personal interests or anybody's personal interests, but that's truly just por y para la comunidad.
Mm. Why is this so important to you? The foundation, doing something for the community. What is it that motivates you to do it for someone else?
Well, I think the community is what makes the place truly special. There is beautiful nature here, all across Samaná. There's beautiful landscapes and natural features, but I wouldn't necessarily want to live just anywhere in Samaná. I like living here because of the people that are here and because of the community that's being created. And so one of the problems with traditional development is it's very extractive. It's all about buying and selling, making the money, and no consideration is made for, the locals. And a lot of times what happens is locals get pushed out, priced out, they sell and they move somewhere else, So I feel like if El Valle is going to lead this country in terms of a style of development that is actually like good for Dominicans and good for locals, then we have to really think about that and really prioritize that. That can't just be an afterthought. That can't just be like a little bit of, we'll do a little bit of good work over here. We'll do a little bit of nonprofit work. It's got to have a much bigger priority than I think the people that come in and just do resorts and just traditional development have on their mind.
Where did this idea come from? Building, not necessarily to make it a business, but to make it make sense with the community and with nature.
Well, ever since I started working in hospitality here, the subject of sustainability was you know, always thrown out there. And there were a lot of people interested in El Valle because it had the potential to be like uh, a little hub of sustainable projects in this country that doesn't really have a lot of that. Costa Rica's got a lot of that. Other countries have places where, you know, they've gone really strong in that direction. And the Dominican Republic doesn't have a lot of good examples of that. And so a lot of the early interest in El Valle, especially when there were very few projects and very few hotels, was in seeing it become the green capital of the country and the sustainable project capital of the country. And I came here in 2016, so that was 10 years ago. And naturally, in that period, the language has changed. Now, no one wants to talk about sustainability. They want to talk about regeneration, which is basically a new word that they needed to adopt, because sustainability was about just like keeping everything the same, not undoing the damage, doing less damage. And regeneration is about actually improving the ecosystems, actually improving the lives of the people that you're going to come in and develop in their ecosystem. You know, regeneration is about leaving the place better than when you found it, not just coming in and leaving a little bit of green space or having a green aesthetic so that you can be an eco brand, but truly actually improving the systems for locals, for the environment, for nature. It needs to be better off than when you found it.
How do you see that this space has improved ever since you started building, at least in this area in particular?
So infrastructure is arriving, development's arriving, and because of that, some things in local lives are improving. But the reason why we need to focus on community impact and measuring, you know, the outcomes of the initiatives that we have is because much of the investment, much of the money that gets put in here, whether to projects, to hotels, to Airbnbs, doesn't really make it back to the local community. And so I feel like if that just continues on the same trajectory, what we'll have is inequality, a community that locals can't afford to live in or participate in. And the end result of what El Valle become is, some select individuals will become wealthy and the local community will have to move out, and there will be gentrification and expats moving in. But if we can really make sure that the investment that come in is regenerative, that circulates locally in the economy, that it lifts up the locals, then they'll forever be a part of this community, and El Valle's identity will be authentic and Dominican and be a rich mix of the expats and the locals alike.
What's it like living in El Valle? Because I know people from the outside may have many misconceptions of what it's like living and being from El Valle.
Yeah. Well, living in El Valle is different than coming on a vacation to come stay at a beach for a week. And so for anybody considering living here, I would definitely recommend that they do a longer stay, that they spend some weeks here. There's a real beauty to just being in the nature and removed from the rest of modern society. I really love that part. I really love how small it is and how small it feels and how close and connected everyone is because of that. But there's also challenges. You know, you're far from the local supermarket. You got to drive to Samaná, 20 minutes away. Transportation and getting around isn't easy. It's not for everybody to be so removed and in a remote place. But if you're wanting, complete full immersion in nature, and if you want to, practice living slow, this is a great place to do it.
Do you live slow?
I do not. And that's another good point. It's quite another thing to come here and live and vacation, or to live while you've got some job somewhere else. It's another thing to try to make your life here and to build projects here. It's very challenging to live here. There are a lot of logistical and operational challenges. We're building a whole community from scratch, so we have to bring everything in. And so my job is very intense, and I'm wanting to slow down, but I'm getting there.
What are the challenges that you have found, being that you have to almost bring everything and build from the ground literally up?
Yeah. I mean, you just you experience what it'd be like to really do everything from scratch, you know? Um, and for most of my projects, that starts with literally building our own roads to access those projects. Um, we have to bring in our own infrastructure. Um, we have to bring in the people to do it, and some of them don't live here. But every year we're getting better and better, and every year the community is growing so that we can source more of the things that we need from within the local community. We don't have to bring in people from abroad. And every year it's getting a little bit easier and a little bit more comfortable. So I'm optimistic.
So what's it like? How much has it changed 10 years to today?
Well, a lot. You know, when I first came here, it was just the tree house. It was just one hotel and the zip line. No Airbnbs, just a local fishing and farming community. And then a year or two later, two more hotels opened up. And then some houses, then some Airbnbs, then some more projects. I had the ability to do my own projects. Every year, there's more projects. Every year, there's more things to do and a slightly larger community. So it's growing. And I feel like it's growing at a nice and steady pace. I feel like it's not exploding, but people are slowly filtering in that vibe with the place, that love it. And it feels like a perfect pace we're moving right now.
Talk to me about filtering, because I know that that's something important to you, and almost everybody that has to come in here has to be filtered by the road. And that's something like, if you don't want to go through the road, you may not want to live here at all.
The rough access is a great filter. And Valle, I feel like, just in its wild, raw essence, filters out a lot of people that would otherwise, need, I don't know, more luxury amenities. But I feel like, as a community, we gotta define our values, and we gotta attract the people that we want to kind of bring to live here. Part of the place does that naturally. You mentioned the road. I love that the road's rough. I love that it's not so convenient to get here. I love that anybody that would just say, I just want to go down there for a day trip, but I don't really want to stay down there, kind of gets filtered out, and leaves us with people that are a little bit more adventurous and really more intentional about wanting to be here. It means that people that are here also have a more pure experience with others that are in that same wavelength. So I really love the road. And then as a community, I have people always asking about land and asking to buy land, and they're just looking at it as like, all right, do I buy in Punta Cana? Do I buy in Las Terrenas? Do I buy in El Valle? What's it going to be worth in 2 years so I could resell it? And it's just like, I never want to work with somebody looking at things that way, because it's definitely not Las Terrenas. It's definitely not Punta Cana. It really is its own beast. And we want to attract the people that are actually here because they want to be here and they love the place, not just because they're looking to speculate off of growth.
Talk to me about your project, Karaya. Like, what does it mean to you? Why are you doing it?
Yeah. Karaya is a project that we're doing because I wanted a community to live in. And the way that it started is we got together, some close friends that all had this shared dream of like living in El Valle, but living in community. And there was nobody doing a project like this. There was no project available. And we said, let's build our own community. And in that process, we said, okay, what is and what would our dream community look like? and we all did kind of like a collective vision board, and we all said we would love to live in nature, have lots of space, be able to have our gardens and maybe some animals. And so the project really emerged out of a natural desire to live in community, created by an existing community. And so it's been very word of mouth, and it's grown to almost 50 members now that all are aligned on those values and that vision. Nobody's just investing because they want to sell, they're investing because they want to be there and they want to participate. And I think that's really great. In a lot of other projects, you have this pressure because someone's put a lot of money and they want to make as much money as possible. And so you're just willing to sell to whoever has the money. Because we've done it in this way, we've been able to move forward without any of that pressure, really choosing our neighbors carefully and really seeing that it's a good fit and that we're aligned on, wanting to live together.
So talk to me maybe about the mistakes being here 10 years, maybe starting, not having so many resources, and finding out who I should partner with, like those hurdles in the way to what you have now, which is a community of 50 people that all share the same values.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, I partnered with a lot of different people because I felt like I didn't have the strength on my own to make it happen here,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Um, and it was great. It was like dating a lot of different people. You learn a lot about how different people operate. You learn a lot about yourself, your work style. Dating or being in partnership in business is like more intense than dating or even marriage in some ways because, you're creating a project together, you're having this baby together, you're invested together, money's involved, emotions are involved, personalities are involved. So you got to be really careful about who you partner with, and you got to make sure that there's alignment on your values, that there's alignment on the timeline that you want to be working together side by side with this person, that you're headed in the same direction, that incentives are aligned. And everybody's different. Yeah, so if you haven't had the opportunity to explore, you know, your personal style, to have that super clear, I'd be really hesitant before jumping into bed with any partners in business ever. But I think in terms of like development partners here in El Valle, if you're somebody that's looking to come here and needs the support and the infrastructure to create, obviously this is something that we offer as a service, is that guidance and ability to build for people. We help people find a good spot, find a good project that's aligned with what they want to be investing in and with what they're looking for and what their dream is. And I've helped a lot of people in this way. I've been involved in a lot of projects, and I'm really sensitive to how confusing and disorienting it can be to someone that's stepping into this for the first time. It's like, all right, I'm going to invest money. I'm going to go to a foreign country. I'm completely dependent on a bunch of people out there and a whole system of way of doing things which is foreign to my own. I've been all through that, and I've helped people through that, and I've done these things with my own money, so I know what it takes, and I know how to make it so that it's a soft landing for newbies. So, do your research, trust your heart, listen to your intuition. But El Valle in general is full of people that really are excited about seeing the place grow and want to welcome new people to the community. So when you come here, you kind of feel like you get a whole network of support. El Valle is really hard to describe. To anyone that hasn't been here before, hasn't felt it. It just feels like it's untouched. It feels like it's unspoiled. It feels like it's a more pure form of life than I felt like I was living in the city. And I really love the community that's here. I love the nature. I love how free you feel here in the Dominican Republic. And I think there's a lot of opportunity. It's a new place, and it's an exciting opportunity to create something new to create a new community, to create a new city, eco-village, whatever this place becomes. It's being co-created by, you know, by people like you and me, you know, just through grassroots efforts. It's not a corporate resort chain designing and deciding. It's a bunch of us, characters, co-creating the story together.